Hello, everyone, and welcome to Otaku Talk. Man, I am smiling from ear to ear. I cannot wait to review this chapter. I needed what happened to happen in it for so long, and it was just such a wave of relief. So you know what? Let's just get there. Thank you for coming to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host. OD. We're going to be reviewing and analyzing chapter 320 of My Hero Academia, Deku versus Class A, or as I like to call him, Dark Deku versus Class A. Yeah. If this is your first time checking out my channel, or you've been here before and haven't done so, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Bang that bell would mean the world to me. Join my League of Otaku. Thank you so much. Every like, every share, every subscribe counts. It matters to me. Thank you so much. And without further ado, let's get into this review because I am So yeah, we're at it. Chapter 320 of My Hero Academia, Deku versus Class A. And can I just say, this is everything. This is everything I wanted and needed this chapter to be. I have been talking to you guys for weeks now, and maybe you might have noticed, but I was getting kind of worn thin, right? Like, I thought it was cool. Yeah, Deku needed to go out on his own for a little bit. Yeah, he needed to fend for himself a little bit. Yeah, he needed to flex a little bit. He's got the pseudo 100% one for all. He could, he's out here. He's leagues and tiers above the rest of his classmates. One all for one is trying to capture him. Meanwhile, he's gonna hurt anyone around him. I understood. I totally got it. I totally got where Deku was coming from, where his state of mind was at. I got it. But regardless, it was hard. So much emotional turmoil just watching this dude just not be himself. For the longest time when I started My Hero Academia, everyone and their mom bitch and moaned and cried about Deku being a crybaby, being a bitch, not liking his character because he was too whiny, and he was always like, when Bakugo would make fun of him or when someone would do something, he would always shy away. But I'm like, bro, that's his character. Not everyone has to be stoic. Not everyone has to be like, badass all the time. What makes Deku cool is that is his default personality, that he is a kind, caring, compassionate person. But if you push him, if you hurt his friends, if you put innocent people at risk, he is going to he's going to run the fade. He's going to run the fade. It doesn't matter how nice he is, how caring he is. You can get your shit rocked real quick if you fuck around too much. And that's what I loved about Deku, because I almost always felt like a connection to him in that regard, because I've always felt that way about myself. I've always felt like a gentle giant who I will do my best to avoid any and all kinds of confrontation if I can. I have really bad anxiety, man, and like especially social anxiety, and I really don't like when people mess with me or do too much. But you poke the bear too much, you're gonna get messed up. And that's what I always loved about Deku, because there's so many kind, caring people out there, but they get pushed to the edge. They're always messed with. And this entire series, he's always held true to who he is. Even now as Dark Deku, he's not a bad person. He hasn't done anything like outlandish or like, or evil. Like I never once was concerned that he would, turn or something of that nature. That was never anything in my mind. Never, not a single time. But I did think that, this was going to wear on him. It was either going to cause him to get so fatigued and lethargic that, All for One would have an easier time of kidnapping him, or perhaps he would fall into a depression. Perhaps, he was so tired he couldn't save someone, or he messes up. And as a result, it causes him to, fall deeper into his depression, to fall deeper into his despair, right? Maybe he has a kind of, Spider-Man Gwen Stacy moment where, a villain drops the girl from, a high a high building, and his brain's not working at 100%. He's exhausted, and instead of saving her in a more intelligent manner, he does something sloppy. Like, that was the worst thing I saw happening. I never saw him turning evil. But like, back to this chapter, it just warmed my heart. I was happy to see this. If you guys watched my video last week, I said one of two things is going to happen, and I'm going to hate if it's one. And I said that if he just straight up fights these guys, I am going to be pissed. I am going to be livid. I said it doesn't make sense. It's not in this character. It just seems stupid that Deku would hurt his friends. I said the only other option I can see is him trying to run away and then stopping him. And that was the exact thing that happened in this chapter. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I said, trust the mangaka. And, sometimes even if I don't really believe that, you have to say it to say it. You have to basically give the mangaka the benefit of the doubt until otherwise. And this chapter, man, I'm so happy I held out. I kept saying it. I kept saying that Class A is going to come back. They're going to talk to him. They're going to talk no jutsu. But it was so much more than that. It was both an emotional display of support and a physical display of support. Emotional is in they all want every single person that came to stop him shared a personal moment, a personal time where either Deku was their personal hero or Deku did something that helped them out, that made them feel better about themselves, that helped them improve themselves. All right. To show that Deku has a role in all of their lives, and for him to just, F off and say, and just leave them is not only hurtful to them as, people that care about him, but it's kind of insulting, right? Because yeah, we get it. We know you have one for all. We know you're powerful. We know that we can't hold a light to you. But at the end of the day, not only are we your friends and your classmates, but we're your allies. We all have pro hero licenses. We all do this. It's, I'm really into basketball right now. It's like if, you have one really, really phenomenal player on the team who refuses to pass, who refuses to get the team involved, who just wants every rebound, every steal, every block, every bucket. It's impossible to do. Yes, you might be the best on the team. Yes, everyone else might be trash compared to you. But at the end of the day, you cannot do it alone. You're going to exhaust yourself. You're going to hurt yourself, and things are not going to work out well. And so emotionally, they show their support, and I just felt it. Like, we start off the chapter immediately, Deku's like, yo, I'm about to just peace out. Like, I'm really not trying to start this. I'm trying to get out of here as quickly, as peacefully, as calmly as possible. Sets up a smoke screen. Smart on his end. Immediately, Bakugo showing us that he's no longer the belligerent berserker that we know, does, a ground landmine attack that pretty much, keeps it self-contained, doesn't look too destructive, doesn't look like there would be any real collateral damage, just uses the shockwave from the explosion to clear up the smoke screen, exposing Deku. Then we have Koda. Man, I was gonna do a funny thing where like I just skip over Koda, but like, I'll be real with you. I'm gonna say this right now. One super cool thing about this series is that it's not just about having Omega level powers. It's about your power set, your quirks, and how you use them. You might not be that offensively apt, but you still have a role as a hero. That's why, like, during the exams, it wasn't just about beating the villain. It was about vacating people, right? And so I do think Koda's powers and quirk do have a time and a place. But honestly, I really wish he didn't show up. I really wish him, along with I wish he didn't show up, just like I didn't see Invisible Girl. Those are just two people that like I really do not see the value in. I really do not see how they made it to Class A. It's kind of nonsensical to me. I do understand that, the qualifications for getting to Class A was just to turn off the robots, and I'm sure that he could have had animals turn off the switches. And the Invisible Girl, the reason she was able to do it is because no one could see her. I actually like Minata, believe it or not, Great Balls, because like at the end of the day, even though he is kind of trash, his power is actually legit. the versatility of it, as well as the fact that it seems to be almost indestructible. Like, I kind of want to see what would happen if he stuck that to like Deku, and see if how much Deku would have to struggle to break free, because from what we know, those balls are pretty powerful. But but yeah, man, I don't know. The when Koda showed up, it kind of took me out of the mood. It kind of bothered me. And he didn't even have anything to say personally about how Deku impacted his life. It was more like, I talked to the principal. The principal wants you back. He says you can come back. And I'm like, cool. Like, everyone out here is like putting their not life on the line, but they're like doing their all. And like this motherfucker sent out some birds. He sent out some birds, like birds. I'm done. I'm spending way too long on that. I just like, I don't like Koda, and like this did not make me like him anymore. After that, Deku breaks free of the birds, and Black whips away. Sero on some dope Spider-Man shit puts his tape on the Black Whip, which I thought was really cool, because I don't know why I always felt like Black Whip was like this weird intangible thing that, like, yes, Deku can swing from and wrap people up with, but if like someone were to touch it, like, it'll go through. But no, it makes sense that it's like physical, and that's how it works. I don't know why I thought that. That's stupid on my end, but Sero's able to do that. And also he says, "Oh, whoa, you brought out back Black Whip. I got to be careful, because when the last time they saw him use Black Whip, he couldn't control it. It went wild. It could hurt people. So I don't think he realizes that Deku has much more control over it. But I thought that was interesting. Just the fact that it reminds us that they don't know how much Deku has progressed since leaving the school. They would have no way to really know, except maybe following up on newspapers and stuff like that mention him. The pro heroes don't really like sorry about that. The pro heroes don't really like keep them in the loop until recently, and we don't know how much they've told him. Now we have shoot, I forget her name, Earjack or whatever. The chick with the earphone jacks. She shows up with her speakers, does her thing there. I really like that part. Heartbeat wall sends him into the dude with the tail. I'm so sorry. I'm exposing myself by not knowing everyone's name. And yes, I could have done a quick review before the chapter review, but I literally read this chapter like not even 10 minutes ago. I've been at work all day, and I really just wanted to read this chapter and get it released today. And then after reading the chapter, I was like, yo, I'm just gonna go into it raw emotion and just talk about this, because I was hyped. Not a lot happens in the way of like actually, that's not true. A lot of plot progression happened. Like, this was really important. I know like some people might not be as into this as I was, but like, bro, this was really, really emotional. And it wasn't some lame, like, we're just gonna talk to him stuff. Like, there's action, they're fighting him. Deku's actively trying to get away. They're all actively showing what they can do. They're all like, remember how earlier I was talking about how like they're giving him emotional support, but they're also showing him physical support, because there many times they're actually incapacitating him. They're doing coordinated attacks, like what I'm talking about right here with the earjack chick. She sends him to the martial artist with the tail. He sends him over to what the he sends him over to Dark Shadow. That was dope. Dark Shadow sends him into the building. Over there, they have a setup. They have a setup by, wow, I actually know this girl's name, because she's actually one of my favorite characters, and I forgot her name. But they send him to a building with the girl that can make any construct from her body. And there's a like, he's instantly constrained in this chair. Like, this was really methodically planned out. They planned this stuff out, and I love every aspect of it. Apparently I didn't know what that helmet did, but then Deku lets us know, oh, they're trying to put me to sleep. I was like, okay, that's cool, because I was like, well, what's that? Or like, I'll be real with you, when I initially thought, I was like, brainwashing, like, are they gonna like, I'll just say I should have, but didn't think of sleeping gas initially. But yeah, man, just, I was originally just gonna go through and like look at like every single person that shows up. Like, Sugar Rush even shows up, and he's even corny. Like, I won't give you any more food coloring to make candied apples for Arena. And I also like that because, you know, it's another callback to just how kind Deku is and the things he does. Deku's been a little shit and he's like, I don't have to be the one to do that. I'm like, oh, shut up, Deku. You know you like to, though. But basically, they tell him our mission is to ensure your safety. Like, we get it. We get it. You're better than us. We get it. But we're still your friends. We're still your classmates. And god damn it, we're still fucking heroes. We want to stop All For One as bad as you. We might not be as useful as you, but god damn it, we are useful. If you guys watch Invincible, one of the first, I think on the first episode, you see when the global guardians, the guardians of the globe, there's a threat, right? And you have like this one dude who's equivalent to the Flash. And you know, the Flash, if super speed powers are used correctly, can be strong as all hell, right? And this dude was pretty much focused on rescuing. And that's the thing. There's people that are going to need to do damage control. There's people going to need to rescue people. Deku, you cannot do this alone. Maybe you're the only one who can fight. Maybe you're the only one who can fight All For One. But you're going to need others to get that close, to reduce collateral damage, to save civilians. I said this last week when I made an analogy with One Piece, like Luffy can't do it without his crew. Let's just hypothetically say he is the absolute strongest in his crew. And when I say hypothetically, you guys are like, well, isn't he? Like, well, yes, but then you have like Zoro that can do some things. I'm not really sure where Jinbei is, but for the most part, we can assume that, you know, Luffy is the strongest, obviously. But the thing is, like, he still cannot. What happened on, you know, Whole Cake Island, he could not do alone. What's happening now on Wano, he cannot do alone. Yes, he is strong as hell, but you cannot do things alone. There's just too many moving parts for one person to manage. Carrying a burden this big is simply too much. Even Atlas, who's like the poster boy for carrying like burdens and carrying the burden of the world on his back, he needed help from Hercules at one point, right? So I just love it. At the end of the day, this series is a shonen, and you know the shonens are supposed to, you know, teach. You know, they don't always do this, but you know they're supposed to teach values and lessons, and you know there are certain tropes that are prevalent. I meant to say, and this is just one of those. And like, I'm just glad that it wasn't a moment where like he tried to do this on his own, and obviously he would have been unsuccessful. And I mean, let's be real. More realistically, in real life, maybe he could take things out. Like, let's be real. Superman, for example, doesn't really need the Justice League. The only time he really needs the Justice League is for like really vast intergalactic threats. I mean, that's what the Justice League is there for the first part. But like when they're like tussling with like, you know, relatively not, you know, bottom tier supervillains, but you know, not quite, you know, Apocalypse level, he doesn't really need them. But it is great to have a support system. It's great to have people to have your back. Maybe you don't have to win within an inch of your life. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but this chapter was done expertly well. And just I love the marriage of, you know, we're gonna talk to him, we're gonna share how he's impacted all of our lives. We're gonna see all of the you know, the students of Class A that we love and cherish and you know, just grew liking and have missed this whole time, because the name of the show is My Hero Academia. Yes, Deku is the lead. Yes, Deku is the main hero. Yes, at the beginning they say this is my story about how I became the greatest hero. Yes, we get it, but it's still My Hero Academia. We came up, we got to love and enjoy all of Class A. We know their motivations and their desires and how hard they've been training. They've been training just as hard as Deku. They might not have his powers, but they've been training just as hard as him. And to see them all putting in work, showcasing their powers, showcasing how they've evolved their powers, the limits they've taken to their powers, their coordination and their teamwork, it's all a precursor for, this is basically all, it's an audition. This entire chapter is basically an audition to get Deku to take him back, basically, and be like, look at what we can do. Yeah, we're not as strong as you, but we're giving you problems. Granted, you know, he's a little exhausted and, you know, fatigued right now, but he's still giving them problems. They're still holding their own. Now, once again, Deku's not really he doesn't have killer intent. He's not coming at them that aggressively, but he is, he is sending a couple of them flying. He is doing this. He is doing that. One part I died when the electric dude, Kami, is it Kami? He's something. Was like, bro, take a bath, and I died laughing because you think that's funny, but I am positive that Deku smells like hot ass right now. He smells like hot ass right now. He hasn't been taking care of himself. He hasn't been sleeping, hasn't been bathing. He's been running from situation to situation to situation, to danger to danger to danger. And like, yeah, his costume is a mess. It's in tatters. He hasn't even touched it up. So yeah, that whole thing smells atrocious. So I died there, but yeah, we didn't see Uravity this chapter. We didn't see Grape Rush. We didn't see Invisible Girl. So I wonder if we're gonna see the next chapter. But chef's kiss. Clearly, I've been going on too long. My camera is dying on me, so I want to finish it up. I want to wrap this up with these last few statements. The end of this has really been like the end of this chapter. Really good. You have Deku just not understanding why they won't let him be. He's not getting. He's like, don't you understand how much danger you're in? Don't you understand that I'm trying to protect you? And he's just missing the point that like they don't care. They don't care. They want to help you, and two, they want to stop him. And even if they can't, like, they would rather do something than nothing at all. And that's what makes them heroes. The desire to act, do something, even if it may be futile. And you see Shoto show up with that amazing ice wall. Froppy's there, and they're just all like, yo, we will share this burden with you. And yeah, it's okay to be sad. Yeah, it's okay to be scared. Yeah, it's okay to cry. It's okay to tremble in fear, but that's what makes you a hero. Your empathy, your compassion. That's how you become a hero, like in the comics. And that part hit me because like that's why I love heroes so much. Like everything that they're doing right now and everything they go through, and the selflessness. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for today. I'm uber excited for the next chapter. I can't wait. The Olympics are going on, so I don't know if they're gonna release the chapter, but I can't wait. Obviously, I think we'll definitely get Uravity. I'm surprised we didn't get her, and I hope Great Rush is here. I didn't see him earlier, and I didn't see Invisible Girl earlier, but she could be invisible. But they have a methodical plan here. I can't wait for them to break through. They're gonna break through to him next chapter. I swear to God, I know they will. They're gonna break through to him next chapter. He's gonna cry baby Deku. He's gonna break down, and they're gonna give him a motherfucking bath. Anyway, this has been Otaku Talk. I'm your host OD. Have a great day. Take care, and please like, share, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Peace.